Is your shop storage hot, sticky trash? Are you tired of never being able to find what you're looking for? Or struggle to open stubborn drawers that make your little wisties hurt? Dude, are you crying?
Me?
Yeah, I was crying. I mean, look at this thing. It's old as shit. So today, I'm gonna build a new one with way more drawers and way more functional storage. First things first, I'll break down this plywood using my favorite tool, the track saw. For this project, I decided to use a more complex and expert form of joinery, pocket holes. Here's a pro tip. Save yourself millions by using drywall screws instead of Craig screws. They're not only easier to use, but they generate a better grab. In other words, they're less likely to strip. I'll give the cabinet 2 coats of black paint for more durability, but to also give the shop a more uniform look since my table saw and other cabinets are already black as well. Next, I'll measure the width of the opening. This will determine the width of the drawer boxes. I'll do this by placing both drawer slides next to each other, then measure the remaining width. For drawer boxes, I prefer to create a dado to accept the drawer bottom. There's a million ways to do it, but this one for me, it's just the easiest. I'll be using screws to join the boxes together, so I'll need to mark and measure locations to pre-drill. The counter kink bit created a decent amount of tear out, so I'll just clean this up using my random orbital sander. I'll glue all 4 sides and tack the boards in place using 16 gauge brad nails. After staring at this polyurethane in my cabinet for like 3 years, I finally found a use for it. And it'll add some durability to the drawer boxes too. When installing the drawer slides, I like to use a 1/2 inch spacer. I found this gives a proper amount of clearance between each drawer. I'll lay the drawer box on top of the spacers and attach the slides using the supplied hardware. I'll start from the front and work my way back. You'll need to remove the drawer box to access the hole locations in the rear.
It's in. Oh my God, it's in.
To give this cabinet a cleaner look, I'll apply Formica to the drawer faces using contact cement. This has a pretty strong odor, so if you value brain function, wear a respirator. Once the contact cement is dry to the touch, I'll weld them together using a J-roller. I have some leftover scraps of walnut from a previous project. I'll rip them down into 1/4-inch strips to make edge banding for the drawer faces. I ended up making way too much edge banding, so instead of just throwing these out or putting them back in the scrap pile, I'll glue them together to make them thicker and use these pieces to make drawer pulls. Rag? Where's their rag? Come on. What am I gonna do with this? And that, everybody, is why you don't do drugs. When you have a small shop like mine, it's extremely important to maximize every square foot, and if possible, make it multifunctional. To make this cabinet multifunctional, I'll fabricate brackets out of MDF to hold my two most commonly used jigs. Both jigs have miter bars, and if I just lay them there, they won't sit flush on the cabinet. To remedy that, I'll cut dados in each side of the cabinet. I'll be installing casters because, well, that's just what us YouTubers with small shops do. But really, this thing is heavy as f***. So if I ever need to get behind or under my saw, I'd like it to be an easy process.
Greg, are those figure 8 clips? You're supposed to use washers.
Well, I didn't have any on hand, so I had to use my...
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Well, it wouldn't be an I Build Things video without a mistake. It pains me to do it, but for a simple fix, I'll notch the edge banding to allow the miter bar to slide freely. Now on to making the drawer pulls. I got the inspiration for these drawer pulls from what I believe to be is the most talented woodworker on YouTube, my good friend, Mike Farrington. And when I say good friend, I mean he has no idea who the f I am. While I was making a fool of myself, I was cutting strips into 1/2 by 1/2 inch stock. I'll then cut each piece to length. I chose 4 inches. I think this is the best bet. I'll join these together with a bridle joint, so I'll use my bandsaw to carve out the mortise and tenons. Pro tip number 2, when fine cutting such as I am here, it's important to use a blade with a higher TPI. This will minimize tear out. I personally never heed my own advice, so I'll use a 3/4 inch blade with a very low TPI, which will result in excessive tear out. I'll clean and smooth these up using my oscillating belt sander. I ran into a minor issue when pre-drilling the drawer pulls. As you can see, it's too unstable. You can see the downward force of the drill bit is pushing the drawer pull out of 90 degrees due to the table's cutout for the drill bit. To remedy this, I'll just take a scrap piece of 1/4 inch MDF to act as the base. This will give a much more accurate cut and also a safer cut. When I bought this saw, the dealer told me the legs are unnecessary. No idea how truthful that is, but I'll roll the dice and remove them anyways. This will free up an additional 6 inches.
That's what she said.
And to really make this walnut pop, I'll use Danish oil. I like Danish oil on shop furniture because it's very easy to apply and there's an added polyurethane for better protection. I used whatever was left on the rag and wiped the formica down with a little Danish oil. Terrible mistake, never do this. It made it extremely tacky and now everything sticks to it. Alright, that's a wrap. I really liked how this turned out. The biggest challenge small shops face is lack of storage, and this cabinet will quadruple the amount of storage that I previously had. This cabinet also helped me organize my biggest and most commonly used jigs, which were just thrown around my shop before and neglected. The addition of casters will allow me to access underneath and behind my saw, and if I ever need a secondary work surface, I could just pull it out whenever I need it. I love the way the drawer pulls came out. This was a challenge to me because I've never made drawer pulls before. They're super strong and will last the life of the cabinet. Thanks, Mike. Unreal. Unbelievable.